Can you take a loan application on the back of a bar napkin at a hotel conference at 9 p.m.? That was a question that was originally asked of me early on in my career, and it stumped me. I was like, why is this guy asking me if I can take a loan application on a bar napkin at 9 p.m. at a conference while sitting at a hotel bar? And what he was really asking me, and this is one of my first mentors, is how well do you know your craft? Because if you need your computer to do your job, then you don't know your craft very well. And it was at this time I realized, you know what? I don't know my craft as well as I do. But I'll be damned if going forward I ever feel this way again. You see, I had to figure out that there's rules of thumb in our industry. And if I understood there's rules of thumb, I don't need my computer to pre-qualify somebody. Now, yes, I need my computer to pull credit. And I need my computer to actually run AUS. But I don't need my computer to answer questions, give advice, and give someone a ballpark answer as it pertains to their monthly payment, their cash to close, how much home they can afford, etc. So here are some of those rules of thumb that I had to learn the hard way that hopefully for you watching this video, we can shorten your learning curve. And this is also my encouragement to you to say, if you can't sit at a bar at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday night while at a conference and do a proper pre-qual with the person sitting next to you, answering their questions, giving them solid advice, well, there's your marching orders. It's okay that you don't know how to do it today. It's not okay if 6 months pass and you still don't know how to do it. So here's what I had to learn to do quickly. The first thing I had to learn to do is figure out, okay, if somebody were to purchase a home, what's a good rule of thumb for closing cost? And I've always used a good rule of thumb for closing cost is 3%. So if I know in the back of my head that when someone goes to buy a home, depending on the type of financing they're going to use, right? It could be 0% if it's USDA or if it's a veteran or active duty military, or it could be 20% down because someone's buying their first investment property. Whatever the case may be, funds to close, I need to be able to calculate in my head their down payment plus closing cost. So down payment's always easy. Closing cost, use 3%. Now, when talking to that person sitting to the right of me at the bar, I have to figure out, well, how much money do they make per year? Now, if their salary, it's pretty easy. We all can do that math in our head, or we can at least get out our smartphone and use a calculator on our smartphone to take their annual salary divided by 12. But what happens when they tell you they're hourly? Well, if they're hourly, here's a great rule of thumb. Take their hourly rate and double it, then add 3 zeros. If they say they make $30 an hour, cool. 30 plus 30 is 60. Add 3 zeros, $60,000. Now, if you got out your calculator, you'd recognize they make a little bit more than $60,000. But again, it's 7 p.m. It's Wednesday night. You're sitting at a bar at a hotel because you're attending a conference. You need to be good. You don't have to be great. Not at this standpoint. So a good rule of thumb when trying to figure out how much money someone earns when they're hourly, take their hourly rate and double it, add 3 zeros. Now, the assumption is they work 40 hours a week. Obviously, if they work 32 hours a week, then you're going to overshoot the income. If they're working overtime, then obviously you're going to come in super conservative on your income. Now, when someone asks you, well, how much home could I afford? Obviously, we all know it comes down to their DTI 9 times out of 10. But a great rule of thumb is figure out what is their annual household income and tell them to multiply that by 3.5. Hey, ma'am or sir, how much money do you and your spouse make every year combined? Is it 60 grand? Is it 200 grand? Is it somewhere in the middle? Let's say they say it's somewhere in the middle. I say, well, where's that? They're like, oh, around 100 grand. I say, oh, combined? Yeah, 100 grand combined. Sweet. Great rule of thumb. $100,000 times 3.5 is $350,000. Ma'am or sir, without getting too involved in pulling your credit and verifying your income, more than likely, you should be looking at homes with a sales price around $350,000 based on your household income being $100,000. Now, when they ask me how much monthly payment can I afford? Okay, there's another real easy rule of thumb. We know that in a perfect world, we would want all people to have their front end debt to income ratio at 25%. Like, that's a great rule of thumb. Is that realistic? Well, not always, and not in today's market at least. So maybe we have to push that up to 35%. But what I could tell that person sitting next to me at the bar at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night is, well, hey, ma'am or sir, how much do you and your spouse bring in every month? Your gross amount, the big number, not the number after payroll, taxes, and health benefits, but how much are you bringing home? So you've just helped them figure out that they make roughly $8,333 per month. That's because they make $100,000 per year. So you take that $8,333, you divide it by 4, and it's going to give you a number of right under $2,100 a month. So we know by using rules of thumb that their comfort monthly payment should be somewhere around $2,100. Their sales price should be somewhere around $350,000. Now, if a front-end debt-to-income ratio of 25% wasn't going to cut it, and we knew we had to push the envelope a little bit more, we could take that same $8,333 number, divide that number by 3 instead of by 4, and at that standpoint, you should get a total monthly payment of around $2,700. So cool. You're walking this person through what their total closing costs would be, what their max sales price could be, what their total monthly payment could essentially be, like what they could afford. Now let's teach them a couple other rules of thumb. I think it's good to know that for every $10,000 someone does or does not spend on their home purchase, their monthly payment's going to go up or down by roughly $65 a month. Like, that's a great rule of thumb. So if I gave someone a payment on a $350,000 home and they said, oh, what if I have to go to $360,000? Okay, ma'am or sir, just take that same number I gave you and add $65,000 to it. This is my start for how I could teach you all how you could sit at a bar and on a napkin, talking to the stranger to your right, walk them through a mortgage pre-qualification using these rules of thumb, giving them accurate advice so that when you got home, you could follow up with them and take it from a bar napkin pre-qual to a full application. I hope you found this beneficial. And if you did, do us a favor, make sure you're sharing this channel with your friends and your coworkers.